The Angel Who Broke Me. It was a cold November evening when I first met her. My life was a wreck, an endless spiral of gambling debts, sleepless nights fueled by alcohol, and a gnawing hunger for the next high. I was sitting on a park bench, clutching a crumpled lottery ticket as if it were my salvation. My hands were shaking, my eyes bloodshot, and my thoughts racing toward nothingness. That's when she appeared. She was breathtaking. Her silhouette against the streetlight seemed almost ethereal. Long, toned legs that moved with confidence, lips painted a shade of red that screamed both danger and allure, and eyes that seemed to peer straight into my broken soul. Without a word, she sat beside me. "You look like someone who's lost everything," she said softly, her voice smooth as velvet. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Instead, I nodded, and she smiled. Not a pitying smile, but one that carried an unspoken promise. From that moment, my life began to change. She became my anchor, my saving grace. Her name was Evelyn. Evelyn didn't just pull me out of my abyss. She dragged me, kicking and screaming, into a new life. She had a way of speaking that made me believe I was worth saving. The way she touched my hand, the way she leaned in when she listened, it was as if she saw something in me that I couldn't see myself. She helped me quit drinking, flushed my stash of pills down the drain, and even sat with me in the back room of the casino as I begged to be banned permanently. "You're stronger than this," she would say, her eyes locking onto mine. "Trust me." And I did, completely. For years, I rebuilt myself under her watchful gaze. I got a steady job, began to repair my relationships, and even started dreaming about a future with her. She became my world, my salvation, my everything. But there were always questions, little inconsistencies I chose to ignore, like the way she always seemed to know exactly what I needed, even before I did. Or the phone calls she would take in another room, her voice dropping to a whisper. And then there was the journal I found one evening when she was out, a sleek, leather-bound book filled with pages of notes. My name appeared over and over again, alongside observations about my behavior, my habits, my darkest secrets. I told myself it didn't mean anything. Evelyn loved me. She had saved me. That's what mattered. It wasn't until I found the business card tucked into the back of that journal that my illusions began to crumble. It was embossed with the logo of a high-profile psychological research institute. Beneath the logo, her name, Dr. Evelyn Carter, psychologist. I confronted her that night, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and desperation. "What is this? Who are you?" She didn't deny it. Instead, she calmly explained. "You were part of a study," she said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "I specialize in addiction recovery and behavioral transformation. You were an opportunity." Her words cut through me like shards of glass. "An opportunity? You played me? Everything we had, it was all just a game to you?" She reached out, but I pulled away. "It wasn't a game," she said. her voice breaking for the first time. I cared for you, I still do. But the work, it's bigger than both of us. I wish I could say I left her that night, that I walked out with my dignity intact. But the truth is, I stayed. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that somewhere beneath the clinical detachment, she had truly loved me. For a while, we tried to move past it, but the trust was gone. The cracks in our foundation became fissures, and eventually, she left. No goodbye, no explanation, just a faint trace of her perfume on my pillow, and the hollow echo of her absence. Years later, I'm still picking up the pieces. She taught me how to survive, but she also left me with questions that will never be answered. Was I just a project to her? Or did she truly love me in her own way? I'll never know. But sometimes, in the quiet moments, I can still feel her presence, a bittersweet reminder of the woman who saved me, broke me, and left me longing for a love that was never real.